What if the middle of summer could become the secret start of your most bountiful garden, delivering fresh, sweet, and nutritious vegetables well into the crisp autumn months? What if planting in July didn't signal the end of the growing season, but instead opened a new window for crops that thrive on warmth, frost, and everything in between? Here are 12 vegetables that prove this idea true, each ready to be sown in the heat of July and rewarding you with harvests that stretch far beyond the typical summer cutoff. Number 12. Swiss chard. Swiss chard is the garden's dependable workhorse, a leafy green that refuses to quit no matter how the temperature swings. Plant the seeds about an inch deep in well-drained, loamy soil, enriched with a balanced fertilizer, 10-10-10, or a handful of compost, then thin the seedlings to a spacing of 6 inches so each plant can spread its broad, ribbed leaves without crowding. As the sun beats down in July, chard's deep-rooted system taps into moisture reserves below the surface, keeping the foliage vibrant while many other greens wilt or bolt. When the first frosts arrive, the plant doesn't slow. Instead, it continues to unfurl fresh leaves from its central crown, offering tender, slightly earthy blades for salads, sautés, or soups. Choose a variety that matches your aesthetic and culinary goals. Fordhook Giant delivers massive dark green leaves perfect for hearty cooking, while the ornamental Bright Lights series adds streaks of red, yellow, orange, and pink to the garden, turning a vegetable bed into a living color palette. For a balance of flavor and visual appeal, Ruby Red provides deep magenta stems and a mild, slightly sweet taste. Those who enjoy Mediterranean dishes might also try Rainbow Chard, whose multicolored stems pair beautifully with garlic, olive oil, and lemon. Harvesting is a continuous process. Snap off the outer leaves when they reach a comfortable size, usually 30 to 60 days after sowing, and the plant will keep producing from the center. This pick-as-you-go method not only extends the harvest into late fall, but also encourages the plant to generate new foliage, ensuring a steady supply of greens for weeks on end. For an extra boost of flavor, try a quick blanch in ice water before adding the leaves to a stir-fry. The shock preserves their vivid color and crisp texture. Swiss chard's resilience to both heat and cold makes it the perfect companion for late-season gardeners who want a reliable source of fresh greens without the stress of timing a single big harvest. It also tolerates a wide pH range, 6.0 to 7.5, and can be interplanted with beans, which fix nitrogen and improve soil fertility for the chard's deep roots. Adding a light mulch of shredded straw after planting helps retain soil moisture during July's scorching days, and a periodic side dress of kelp extract can enhance the plant's chlorophyll content, making the leaves even more vibrant. If you're interested in extending the season further, consider planting a second, smaller batch in late August. The cooler evenings will still support robust leaf growth, and you'll enjoy fresh chard well into November. Number 11. Radishes. If speed is what you crave, radishes are the garden's express train, ready to deliver crunchy, peppery roots in as little as 25 days after sowing. Begin by preparing a shallow furrow in warm, loose soil, scattering the tiny seeds thinly and covering them with no more than a 1/4 inch of soil. Radish seeds need light to germinate. Water gently but consistently, keeping the surface moist without drowning the seedlings. Within a week, delicate green shoots will push through, and in just a few weeks, the round, ruby-red roots will be ready for harvest. One of radish's greatest strengths is its flexibility in sowing schedules. Plant a small row every 1 to 2 weeks throughout July and into August, and you'll enjoy a rolling harvest that never overwhelms you with too much at once. For those who wish to extend the season even further, consider a winter variety, such as daikon. These long white roots take longer to mature, thriving through the cooler months and delivering a subtly sweet flavor that pairs beautifully with soups, stews, and pickles. Even if a hot spell slows root development, don't discard the plants. Allow them to continue growing. When they bolt, their delicate green seed pods appear, offering a crisp, mildly spicy snack that can be eaten raw or lightly stir-fried. The flowers also attract pollinators, turning a seemingly stalled crop into a mini habitat for bees and beneficial insects. Select varieties like German Giant, Fireball, or Perfecto for reliable germination, vigorous growth, and a spectrum of colors that brighten any garden plot. For a more nuanced flavor, try Cherry Belle, a petite radish that matures in 20 days and offers a milder heat, perfect for children's salads. Radishes also excel in companion planting. Their deep taproots break up compacted soil, benefiting neighboring carrots and lettuce, while their quick turnover helps suppress soil-borne diseases. Adding a thin layer of mulch after sowing reduces moisture loss and keeps the soil temperature more even, which can improve germination rates by up to 15%. For an extra flavor twist, try planting a mixture of radish and mustard greens. The mustard's pungency can enhance the radish's peppery notes, creating a more complex tasting experience. Number 10. Lettuce. Lettuce may be famed as a cool weather crop, but with clever microclimate tricks, it can flourish even when July temperatures soar. The key is to create shade and maintain consistent moisture. Set up a shade cloth that blocks 50 to 70% of the sun, drape it over the planting rows, or position the lettuce under the north side of taller crops such as corn or tomato trellises. This cooler pocket slows the plant's metabolism, preventing the dreaded bolting that turns leaves bitter and unpalatable. When sowing, spread the tiny seeds on the soil surface and press them lightly into a thin layer of soil, about a quarter-inch deep, because lettuce seeds require light to germinate. Keep the soil evenly moist, watering at the base to avoid wetting the foliage, which can encourage fungal diseases like downy mildew. Adding a thin mulch of straw or shredded newspaper helps retain moisture and keeps soil temperatures more stable. Choose heat-tolerant cultivars like Buttercrunch, Summertime, Skyfos, or the buttery Salanova series. These varieties retain their crisp texture and mild flavor longer than traditional heads. Harvest the leaves as soon as they reach a usable size, typically 30 to 40 days after planting. Cut the outer leaves with clean scissors, leaving the central rosette intact so the plant can continue producing. This cut-and-come-again approach stretches the harvest well into the fall, providing a steady stream of fresh salad-ready greens despite the lingering summer heat. For a gourmet twist, try baby lettuce varieties such as Little Gem or Merveille de Bussière, which can be harvested in as little as 25 days, and add a delicate texture to sandwich fillings. To further protect against heat stress, consider a drip irrigation system that delivers water directly to the root zone early in the morning, allowing the foliage to dry before the hottest part of the day. Adding a balanced liquid fertilizer once a month supplies the nitrogen lettuce loves, especially in sandy soils where nutrients leach quickly. If you notice any signs of bolting, a quick spray of cool water can temporarily lower leaf temperature and buy you extra days of tender growth. Number 9. Brussels sprouts. Patience is the most valuable tool when growing Brussels sprouts, a crop that rewards gardeners with sweet, nutty buds after it endures the first frosts of autumn. Start by spacing each seedling 18 to 24 inches apart, granting the tall plants ample airflow and sunlight. The soil should stay evenly moist throughout the growing season. Inconsistent watering can cause the buds to develop unevenly or diminish yield. Sow the seeds in July, allowing the plants to establish a robust root system during the warm months. As the days shorten and temperatures dip, the sprouts along the stem begin converting stored starches into sugars, a natural defense against cold that also amplifies their flavor. After the first light frost, the buds become noticeably sweeter and more aromatic, a transformation that many gardeners consider the hallmark of a successful Brussels sprout harvest. Select varieties known for reliable midsummer performance, such as Long Island, Gustus, Tebe, or Dargan. These cultivars tolerate the initial heat and continue to mature as the weather cools. For gardeners in cooler zones, Root offers a shorter maturation period, while Jade Cross provides a deep green hue and a buttery texture after frost. When the sprouts reach a diameter of 1 to 2 inches, begin harvesting from the bottom up, snipping each bud with a sharp knife. This method encourages the plant to produce additional buds higher up the stem, prolonging the harvest window for several weeks. Though the growth cycle spans 80 to 100 days, the payoff is worth the wait. Each bite delivers a complex blend of earthiness, subtle sweetness, and a satisfying crunch that only a well-timed frost can unlock. For added culinary depth, try roasting the sprouts with a drizzle of maple syrup and a sprinkle of smoked paprika. The caramelization highlights the natural sugars, while the spice adds warmth. Companion planting with aromatic herbs such as thyme, rosemary, or sage can deter cabbage moths, one of the most common pests of Brussels sprouts. A light application of neem oil early in the season, followed by row covers after the first frost, can also protect the tender buds without harming beneficial insects. Mulching with a 2-inch layer of leaf litter helps maintain soil temperature and reduces moisture loss, which is especially helpful during hot July days. Number 8. Beets. Beets offer a dual harvest: tender, nutritious leaves in the early stages and deep red, sweet roots as the season progresses. To maximize germination, soak the seed clusters in water for 24 hours before planting. This softens the outer coating that naturally slows sprouting. Plant the seeds shallowly, about ½ an inch deep, in warm, loamy soil enriched with a modest amount of phosphorus, for example, bone meal, to encourage strong root development. Then thin the seedlings to a spacing of 2 inches once they emerge. During July's warmth, the seedlings establish quickly, drawing on the heat to develop a strong root system. As autumn cools, the roots accumulate sugars, enhancing their natural sweetness and creating a richer flavor profile. Harvest the greens as soon as they are a few inches tall for a mild, spinach-like leaf, or wait until the roots reach a size of 2 to 3 inches for a classic beet harvest. For a reliable, high-yielding variety, consider Detroit Dark Red. Its round, deep purple roots and vibrant foliage make it a favorite among gardeners seeking both visual appeal and culinary versatility. Another excellent choice is Chioggia, a candy cane striped beet that adds a striking visual element to salads and roasted vegetable platters. Beets tolerate light frosts, so you can leave the roots in the ground a little longer to develop even more sugar content. Pair the harvested leaves with a simple vinaigrette, or roast the roots with a drizzle of honey to accentuate their natural caramel notes. Beets also benefit from companion planting with onions or garlic, whose sulfur compounds can deter the beet leaf miner. Adding a mulch of straw or shredded leaves around the plants helps retain soil moisture and keeps weeds at bay, which is especially important during the dry midsummer period. If you have limited space, interplant beets with lettuce. The lettuce's shallow roots won't compete with the beet's deeper taproot, and the two crops can be harvested at different times for continuous produce. Number 7. Cabbage. Cabbage is a cornerstone of winter food storage, capable of producing heads that can be kept for months when harvested at the right moment. Plant seedlings in July, spacing them 30 inches apart to give each head room to form a tight, compact ball. The cool evenings of early autumn trigger the plant to consolidate its leaves, resulting in firm heads that resist splitting and bolting. Choose varieties like Champion or Top Bunch, which are renowned for forming dense heads that store exceptionally well. Savoy types, such as Winter Red, provide crinkly leaves that are less prone to pest damage and have a slightly milder flavor. After the first frosts, the cold reduces the sharpness of the cabbage's flavor, allowing natural sugars to rise and creating a sweeter, crisper texture. Store harvested heads in a cool, dark place at 32 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit, 0 to 4 degrees Celsius. Under these conditions, cabbage can remain fresh and flavorful for up to 6 months, providing a reliable source of vitamins throughout the winter. When planting, avoid exposing the seedlings to intense summer heat, as high temperatures can cause heads to swell too quickly and split, or force the plant to bolt before a proper head forms. By sowing in July, you give the plants enough warm days to build leaf mass, then let the cooler fall. Temperatures perfect the head formation. Harvest when the heads feel firm to the touch, then trim the outer leaves and store the intact head for long-term use. Cabbage also thrives in a slightly acidic to neutral soil, pH 5.5 to 7.0, and benefits from a balanced fertilizer applied at planting. Adding a row cover after the first frost can protect the heads from excessive moisture, which might otherwise cause rot. For gardeners interested in extending the harvest, try planting a second, smaller mini cabbage variety, such as Mini Gala. These heads mature faster and can be harvested in late autumn for fresh salads. Number 6. Broccoli. Broccoli is a cool season crucifer that truly shines when its heads develop under mild autumn conditions. Direct sowing in July can be challenging because hot soil slows germination. To overcome this, start seeds in trays or a shaded indoor area, then transplant robust seedlings into the garden once they have a solid root system. Space the plants 18 inches apart, ensuring each has ample room for airflow and sunlight. Select varieties that produce multiple side shoots after the main head is harvested, such as Broccolini, Asparabroc, or the hybrid Green Magic. These produce a primary central head and, subsequently, a cascade of smaller, tender side heads that can be harvested over several weeks. This extended yield maximizes the plant's productivity and provides a continuous supply of crisp, nutrient-dense florets. For gardeners in colder zones, purple sprouting offers a unique violet hue and a slightly nutty flavor that deepens after frost. Timing is critical. Aim to plant about 10 to 12 weeks before your region's average first frost date. This schedule allows the plants to establish during the warm summer, then transition into the cooler fall period when head formation occurs. The cooler temperatures promote tighter, denser heads with a sweet, mild flavor, far superior to the loose, bitter heads that result from hot weather growth. Patience is rewarded with a harvest of glossy green crowns that are perfect for steaming, stir-frying, or raw consumption. To keep the heads compact, mulch around the base of each plant with a 2-inch layer of organic material. This conserves moisture, reduces soil temperature fluctuations, and suppresses weeds that compete for nutrients. A light application of calcium nitrate can also prevent tip burn, a common issue when calcium is deficient. If you notice any early signs of pests, such as aphids, a gentle spray of insecticidal soap can keep populations in check without harming beneficial insects. Number 5. Kale thrives when the first frost arrives, as the plant converts stored starches into sugars, softening its texture and mellowing its characteristic bitterness. Plant kale seedlings in mid-July, spacing them 12 inches apart to give each plant a strong root foundation before the weather turns cool. Varieties such as lacinato, dinosaur kale, blue-curled Scotch, and Premier are celebrated for their hardiness and flavor development. Red Russian offers a deep purple-red leaf that adds color to winter salads, while Nero di Toscana provides a dark, almost black leaf that is prized for its earthy flavor. Harvest can be tailored to your culinary needs. Young leaves, ready in 30 to 45 days, are tender enough for salads, while larger, more mature leaves are ideal for sautéing, soups, or kale chips. Instead of cutting the entire plant, practice cut-and-come-again harvesting. Snip the outer leaves while leaving the central growing point intact. This technique encourages the plant to produce new leaves continuously, extending the harvest for many weeks, even through the coldest months. Because kale tolerates frost, you can leave the plants in the garden well into winter, allowing each cold spell to deepen the sweetness and reduce the peppery bite. The result is a versatile, nutrient-rich green that can be enjoyed raw, cooked, or blended into smoothies long after other vegetables have finished producing. For a boost of vitamin C, consider a quick blanch in boiling water before sautéing. This reduces the oxalic acid content and makes the kale more tender. Kale also benefits from companion planting with beans or peas, which fix nitrogen and improve soil fertility for the heavy-feeding kale. Adding a light coating of compost around the base each spring supplies the potassium needed for robust leaf development. If you notice any signs of leaf miners, a row cover or a sprinkle of diatomaceous earth can keep the pests at bay while preserving the plant's health. Number 4. Carrots. Carrots reach their peak sweetness after exposure to cooler fall temperatures, when the plant naturally converts root starches into sugars as a protective measure against the cold. Sow carrot seeds in July, covering them lightly with a thin layer of soil to protect the tiny seeds from drying out. Because midsummer soil can quickly lose moisture, apply a 2-inch layer of dry straw over the sowing area. This mulch retains moisture, cools the soil surface, and shields the seeds from harsh sun. After germination, thin the seedlings to a spacing of 1 inch, giving each root room to develop straight, uniform taproots. Varieties such as Nantes are prized for their sweetness, Little Fingers for early small-size harvests, and Tender Sweet for long, meaty roots. Chantenay offers a shorter, more rounded shape that is ideal for shallow soils, while Purple Haze adds a striking purple skin that turns orange when cooked, providing visual interest on the plate. As the days grow shorter and temperatures dip, the carrot's flavor intensifies, producing a crisp, sweet bite that surpasses the milder summer harvests. You can leave the carrots in the ground until the first light frosts, allowing the cold to further enhance their sugar content. Harvesting after frost yields a deeper orange hue and a richer taste, perfect for roasting, glazing, or raw consumption. Carrots store well in a cool, humid environment such as a root cellar or a refrigerated crisper drawer, where they can remain fresh for several weeks. To prevent premature sprouting, keep them away from ethylene-producing fruits like apples. Adding a thin layer of sand or peat over harvested carrots helps maintain humidity and prolongs shelf life. For gardeners with limited storage space, consider a partial harvest where only the tops are cut, leaving the roots in the ground for a secondary pick later in the season. Number 3. Zucchini is famously prolific, often delivering more fruit than a single gardener can consume. Plant 1 or 2 seedlings in July, giving each plant ample space, at least 3 feet between plants, to promote airflow and reduce the risk of powdery mildew, a common fungal disease that thrives in warm, humid conditions. Choose varieties like Black Beauty for classic green zucchini, Early Summer Crookneck for sunny yellow squash, or Spinless Beauty for a thornless stem that makes harvesting more comfortable. Gold Rush provides a bright golden hue, while Raven offers a deep purple flesh that adds visual drama to any kitchen. Harvest the fruits while they are still small, typically 6 to 8 inches in length, to ensure tenderness, reduced seed count, and a sweeter flavor. Regular picking encourages the plant to produce more blossoms and, consequently, more fruit, a virtuous cycle that can keep a single plant yielding for weeks. Be vigilant about mildew. Space the plants properly, water at the base to keep foliage dry, and consider applying a light dusting of horticultural oil if the disease appears. By maintaining good air circulation and avoiding overcrowding, you can keep the plants healthy and productive throughout the warm months and into early fall. Zucchini also benefits from a balanced feeding regimen. A side dressing of compost tea every 3 weeks supplies micronutrients that support vigorous fruit set. Mulching with shredded leaves helps keep the soil temperature stable and reduces water evaporation, which is especially valuable during July's peak heat. For gardeners who love culinary experimentation, try stuffing small zucchini with quinoa, herbs, and cheese, then roasting them for a quick, nutritious entree. Number 2. Cucumbers. Cucumbers planted in July benefit from a reduced pest pressure, as many of the insects and diseases that plague early season plantings have already peaked. Choose a bush variety for limited space. Sumter and Dasher 2 are excellent for fresh eating, while vining types like Marketmore or Lemon thrive on trellises, producing straight, clean fruits that are easy to harvest. For a novel twist, try Armenian, a small, cucumber-shaped variety that matures quickly and has a crisp, sweet flavor. Water management is the key to flavor. Cucumbers have large leaves that lose moisture quickly under hot sun, and any water stress during fruit development can cause bitterness. Apply deep, consistent watering at the root zone, preferably using a drip system or soaker hose to keep the soil evenly moist without wetting the foliage. Mulch around the plants to retain soil moisture and suppress weeds. Harvest cucumbers when they are firm and reach the desired size, typically around 6 to 8 inches for slicing. Frequent picking encourages continuous production and prevents the fruits from becoming overly large and bitter. By providing steady moisture and protecting the plants from heat stress, your July cucumber crop can become one of the most rewarding late summer harvests, offering crisp, refreshing slices for salads, sandwiches, or pickling. To keep the vines vigorous, feed with a nitrogen-rich fertilizer early in the season, then switch to a phosphorus-heavy feed once fruit set begins to promote strong fruit development. A light application of neem oil can also deter cucumber beetles, which may still be active in late summer. For an extra flavor boost, try planting basil or dill nearby. Their aromatic oils can enhance cucumber taste and further repel pests. Number 1. Beans. Beans are the ultimate continuous harvest crop when planted in staggered intervals throughout July. Instead of a single sowing, plant short rows every 7 to 10 days, each time sowing a thin line of seeds about 2 inches deep. This depth protects the seeds from the rapid drying of the topsoil while keeping them within the warm zone that accelerates germination. Select varieties suited to your garden's structure. Pole beans such as Blue Lake climb trellises and produce abundant, tender pods, while bush beans like Jade, Top Crop, or Strike offer compact growth for smaller spaces. Dragon Tongue provides a striking purple striped pod that turns bright yellow when mature, adding visual interest to the garden and plate. Most varieties begin producing pods within 45 to 60 days, ensuring a harvest before the first hard frost. Because beans have minimal frost tolerance, calculate the average first frost date for your region and count back roughly 65 days to determine the latest planting window. By adhering to this schedule and maintaining a steady planting rhythm, you will enjoy fresh, crisp beans week after week, even as neighboring gardens wind down their production. The continuous harvest not only supplies a steady source of protein and fiber, but also adds vibrant green color to summer meals, from simple sautéed sides to hearty bean salads. Beans also improve soil health. As legumes, they host nitrogen-fixing bacteria in their root nodules, enriching the soil for subsequent crops. After the beans finish producing, consider cutting the vines at ground level and allowing the roots to decompose in place, returning organic matter and nitrogen to the soil. Mulching around the bean rows with straw or compost helps retain moisture and suppress weeds, vital during July's dry spell. For gardeners interested in extending the season, try planting a cold-tolerant snap bean variety such as Kentucky Wonder. A late summer planting can yield a modest harvest even after light frosts. So, what if July truly is the gateway to a garden that keeps on giving, delivering fresh, sweet, and nutritious vegetables well into the cooler months? These 12 vegetables, beans, cucumbers, zucchini, carrots, kale, broccoli, cabbage, beets, Brussels sprouts, lettuce, radishes, and Swiss chard, show that planting in the heat of summer can unlock a season of bounty that many gardeners overlook. If you found these ideas useful, please like this video, subscribe for more gardening inspiration, and share your own July planting successes in the comments. Happy gardening, and may your harvests be abundant and flavorful.